Good morning, students. In this session, we can see the continuation of 12th chemistry, physical chemistry, first lesson, solid state, 6th lesson, solid state. Solid state. In today's session, we are going to calculate packing efficiency in face-centered cubic arrangement and defects in crystals we are going to see. So, packing efficiency in face-centered cubic arrangement. In today's class, we are going to see. So, in face-centered cubic So already we have studied packing efficiency, how we can calculate in simple cubic and body-centered cubic arrangement. So in face-centered cube, first I will draw the diagram. Consider the cube like this. Take this as A, B and C. A and C you join like this. That's why you are getting a triangle. Okay. So now we can draw. So if it is a face-centered cube, it is having. So I will draw the face-centered cube here. It is having atoms in the corner, 8 corners in a cube, and along with that, so for face-centered cube, at 6 faces, 6 atoms are present in 6 faces like this. 1, here 2, 3, 4. One is at the front side of the cube, and one face is at the back side of the cube. So here I am going to draw we are considering this face, okay. So the sphere is here in the face and in the corners like this. So here also we can draw, but only I am specifying this side, spheres. So first what we have to do is for calculating packing efficiency, total volume of spheres occupied in unit cell divided by volume, it will into 100, it will give packing efficiency. So first we have to find out the radius value, or then we can substitute volume of one sphere. So first radius, how we can find out this? So this length we can take it as R, okay. So this from here to here the distance is taken as R, and from here to here the distance is taken as 2R, and from here to here the distance is taken as R. According to Pythagoras theorem, A in triangle ABC, we have taken the triangle ABC, AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. Next, AC is equal to square root of AB square plus BC square. It is equal to square root of AB edge length A and BC length also A. So which is A square plus A square equal to square root of 2A square is equal to root 2A. So what's the value? AC value. So AC, how we can calculate this distance when it is added? So AC is equal to, so this distance is R and this length is 2R. Next this distance is R. So 2R plus R which is 4R. So take AC value is 4R. So 4R is equal to root 2A. We have to find out R value. So R is equal to root 2 divided by 4 into A. Okay. So this 4 we can write. So next what we have to calculate? We have to calculate volume of a sphere. Volume of one sphere is equal to volume of sphere is equal to formula 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay. So which is equal to 4 by 3 pi into r value root 2a by 4. Substitute this value root 2 by 4a the whole cube. So which is equal to 4 by 3 into pi into root 2 cube, that is root 2 into root 2 into root 2. We are getting 2 root 2 divided by a cube divided by 4 cube. It is 4 into 4 into 4. So cancel this 4 and you can get 2 root 2 pi a cube divided by 3 into 4, 12. 12 into 4 we are getting. We can cancel this also. So 2. Here 2, isn't it? So this 2 no need. Root 2 pi a cube divided by 3 into 6, 6 4s are 24. Okay, so root 2 pi a cube divided by 24 you got. So next what we have to do? So volume of one sphere we have to calculate it. So for this, for face-centered cube, total number of atoms, how we can calculate? So total number of atoms in FCC is equal to, how we can calculate? The formula is NC by 8 plus NF by 2. NC number of corners 8. Divided by 8, number of faces 6 divided by 2 equal to 1 plus 6 by 2 3 equal to 4. Okay. So if we need to calculate total volume of spheres, formula is total volume of spheres occupied in unit cell is equal to total number of atoms into volume of one sphere. So that is 4 into root 2 pi a cube divided by 24. 6. So we are getting value is root 2 pi a cube divided by 6. Okay. So total volume of spheres in one unit cell we have calculated, isn't it? So that is root 2 pi a cube divided by 6. So next, packing efficiency. For calculation we need volume, isn't it? So volume of cube is equal to A into A equal to A cube. Okay. So next, packing efficiency. Is equal to total volume of spheres in one unit cell divided by volume of cube. Okay, so into 100. So total volume of spheres, the value is, here we got, it is root 2 pi a cube divided by 6 divided by a cube. Volume of a cube is a cube into 100. So this is the formula for calculating packing efficiency. So now this a cube and this a cube will be cancelled and you are getting root 2 pi divided by 6 into 100. Okay. So by substituting the values root 2 pi, you can get, so root 2 1.414, pi value 3.414 into 100 divided by 6 is equal to 74%. Okay. So packing efficiency in face-centered cubic arrangement, you are getting the percentage is 74. Okay. Once again, packing efficiency in face-centered cube. So face-centered cube, along with the corner atom, they are having atoms in the face, 6 faces also. So consider this triangle ABC. Here, according to Pythagoras theorem, AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. Okay. So here AC is equal to square root of AB square plus BC square. So AB and BC, it is edge length A, and you can get AC equal to root 2A. So next AC is equal to, so this distance, it is 4R. From this we can find out the R value. R is equal to root 2 by 4A. Next, so volume of the sphere is 4 by 3 pi R cube. 4 by 3 pi into R value root 2 by 4A. Okay, the whole cube. After rearranging, you are getting root 2 pi A cube divided by 24. Next, total number of atoms in FCC, NC by 8 plus NF by 2, 4. So this number should be multiplied with volume of one sphere. It will give the total volume of sphere occupied in 1 unit cell. Okay. So you are getting root 2 pi A cube divided by 6. Volume of the cube is A cube. Packing efficiency is equal to total volume of spheres occupied in 1 unit cell divided by volume of the cube into 100. It will give the value, that is 74%. So it's the packing efficiency in face-centered cube. Okay. So next we can see defects. Defects in crystals. We cannot expect a crystal must be perfect. So because of temperature or pressure, so crystal can change its, some of the lattice points or position will be changed because of this elevated temperature. These defects are classified into line defects, point defects, interstitial defects, and volume defects. Okay. So defects are classified into line defects, point defects, interstitial defects and volume defects. So here we can see about point defects. So this point defects are again classified into stoichiometry defects, non-stoichiometry defects, and one more is impurity defects. So these are the three types of defects, point defects. What are they? That is stoichiometry defects, non-stoichiometry defects and impurity defects. The stoichiometric defects are classified into Schottky defect and Frankel defect. Schottky defect and one more it is Frankel defect. These non-stoichiometry defects are further classified into two defects, that is metal excess defect and metal deficiency defects. Okay, so defects are broadly classified into four. It is line defect, point defect, interstitial defects and volume defects. So this point defects are classified stoichiometry defect, non-stoichiometry defect and impurity defects. So the stoichiometric defects are Schottky and Frankel defects. Non-stoichiometry defects are metal excess and metal deficiency defects. Okay? So first we can see stoichiometry defects. So under the stoichiometry defect, the first defect we are going to see, that is Schottky defect. Consider a crystal like this. Size should be almost similar, okay? Plus, here minus, plus, plus and here also minus. So consider this crystal. So when you see the crystal, so this minus plus cations and anions, they mention the lattice points. So here one positive ion and here one negative ions are missed from this lattice position, isn't it? So Schottky defect arises due to the missing of cations and anions from the crystal lattice. Okay? Missing of equal number of cations right here. Then we can write Frankel defect that side. So here the Schottky defect arises due to missing of equal number of cations and anions. positive ion is missed from this position, and here one negative ion. Equal here, one positive ion is missed means equal number of negative ion. One more negative ion is missed. So when equal number of ions are missed, isn't it? So that it reduces the density of a crystal. Density of a crystal is reduced because of this Schottky defect. Next, when equal number of positive ion and negative ion is missed, so that the crystal becomes neutral. So neutrality of the crystal, it will not disturb because number of positive ions and negative ions left is equal. Okay. So next, density of crystal, it will be reduced, but electrically it is neutral. Okay. So next is size of cations and anion. It's almost similar. It does not differ in size. Similar size of cations and anions. Next, third is example for this Schottky defect is NaCl. Okay. So these are the 4 points related with Schottky defect. So in Schottky defect, so there is an equal number of missing of cations and anions. So equal number of positive and negative ions are missed, so that electrical neutrality, it will not change. Density of a crystal, it will be reduced because 2 ions are missed from its position. So almost anions and cations, they are having similar size. Example NaCl for this type of defect. So next is, we can see next defect, Frankel defect. Consider AgBr as example. So here one more example it is given, that is vanadium oxide. So vanadium oxide, actual its edge length is 6.5 value. Okay, its value is like this. But experimentally, when you see vanadium oxide edge length value is, it is 5.6. Isn't it? That the difference is 14%. So why this edge length value difference is there means because of Schottky defect. So the Schottky defect percentage is 14%, vanadium oxide. So here we can see Frankel defect, example as AgBr. Plus, minus, consider this is plus, then minus, plus. Here almost similar slice. Here, so negative and positive ions, they should get the difference. Okay. Anion should be larger in size. Positive, here one negative, and here one positive, and here is going to be a negative. So next here negative ion, positive ion, negative ion, positive ion, negative ion, positive. And here next also positive, negative, almost it is different size. Okay. So here one positive and here one positive, here negative ion, and here one negative ion, and here one positive ion, and here one negative ion. So this we can lift it here. So it is the second layer, so it must be like this. So consider this, right? So here empty space is there, isn't it? So Ag plus is missed from this position, and instead of this position, it occupies the position in between these two layers. That is called as interstitial position. Okay. So in frontal defect arises due to this position is called as interstitial position, isn't it? A positive ion can move from its original position to interstitial space, so it is called as frontal defect. Okay. Why we are calling it as interstitial defect? Because one of the positive ion, it moves from its original position and occupies a space in between these layers, that is called as interstitial space. Okay. So ion move from its original position to interstitial position. The ion occupies the interstitial position. So what about the density? So it has just moved its position, but density of the crystal, it will not change. Okay. So density of crystal, there is no change. Next. So here positive ion, negative ion's number is equal, isn't it? So neutrality of this crystal also will not change. So what about size? Anion is larger in size than cation. Anion is larger size. Example for this defect is AgBr. Okay, so these are the points regarding frontal defect. So in frontal defect, one of the ion moves from its original position and occupies the space in between the layers, that is called as interstitial position. Next. So there is no change in number of positive ions and negative ions, so that density of the crystal, it will not change. Next is anion. This type of defect will be exists only in anion is larger in size than cation. Therefore, example for this frontal defect is AgBr. So stoichiometry defects are classified into Schottky and Frankel. This we have seen. So next defect, that is non-stoichiometric defect. So under this non-stoichiometric defect, two classification it is there. One is metal excess defect, the other one is metal deficiency defect. Okay. So what are the two types of non-stoichiometric defects? That is metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Non-stoichiometric defects are classified into two, that is metal excess and metal deficiency defects. Okay. So first we can see metal excess defect. So first metal excess defect. Okay. So when sodium chloride is heated with sodium vapor, we are heating with sodium vapors. When sodium chloride is heated with sodium vapors, the color of the sodium chloride changes from white to yellow. The reason behind this is metal excess defect. So in metal excess defect, in crystal lattice, metal ions, the number of metal ions will be increases by using, we are heating the sodium chloride with sodium vapors, isn't it? So as like this, I will show this using diagram. This big ions consider as Cl and this small, this you can consider as Na. Okay. So next here also this below Na, next Cl, next Na, afterwards Cl, so next Na and next Cl. So like this you can draw. Here also Cl, next also. So in this position we can call it as F. So here when sodium chloride is heated with sodium vapor, so excess of metal ions, sodium Na plus ions are occupied in the crystal lattice. So to balance this positive ion, so negative ions have been empty space, isn't it? So excess of Na plus ions are in the crystal lattice, at the top of the crystal means, so some of the Cl, that instead of Cl minus place is vacant. So this vacant spaces are called as F centers. So this F centers are otherwise called as color centers. So next we can see metal deficiency defects. So this type of defects we can expect in the compounds which are having two variable oxidation state. Here Fe can have the oxidation state of 2 plus, the same way this can have the oxidation state of 3 plus. Okay. So metal deficiency defects is possible in the case of metals having variable oxidation state. So FeO. So I will draw the diagram here. So consider this big surplus oxygen. Consider the small surplus Fe. Okay. So here first we can start from Fe. So oxygen, next small. Here oxygen, Fe, so consider this crystal. So in this crystal, this Fe2 plus ions, 3 ions are missed from this lattice position. So to overcome this negativity, so we are going to place the metal ion which is having 3 plus oxidation state. So I will give this surplus dotted. Okay, that meaning is it is Fe3 plus. So this dot is taken as Fe3 plus to maintain the electrical neutrality. So when missing of 3 Fe2 plus is there, but to maintain the neutrality, so it is these two places it is occupied by Fe3 plus ions. Okay? So this type of defect that is called as. So here anyhow a vacant space is there, isn't it? So this is called as defect. So this type of defect it is called as metal deficiency defect. So one more defect that is called as impurity defect. So for this type of defect we can take example as silver chloride. Along with silver chloride, when you are adding the impurity, the gadolinium chloride, so Ag it is having oxidation state of +1. So gadolinium its oxidation state is plus 2. Okay. So this GD2 plus occupies the position of AG plus. So because of this variable, when GD plus is occupied in AG plus, one of the AG plus ion will be moved from this crystal. Okay. So that this Ag plus, by after adding this impurity, so AgCl is getting a defect. So such type of defect we can explain as impurity defect. So okay, so in today's class we have seen packing efficiency calculation in face-ended cubic arrangement and types of defects also we have seen. Okay. So one more topic, radius ratio. Radius ratio. Radius ratio of cation and anion is useful for determining the structure of the compound. So Rc plus divided by Ra minus. It indicates the radius ratio. If the radius ratio value is 0.1552, 0.225, the coordination number of the particular compound is crystal is 3. Okay. So if it is 3, what's the structure we can expect? That is trigonal planar. So next, if the ratio is 0.2252, 0.414, so this radius ratio, so it is having the coordination number of 4. So structure is tetrahedral. If coordination number is 3, structure example for this compound is this coordination number 3 B2O3, coordination number 4 it is ZNS. So next, if the value is 0.4142, 0.732, so its coordination number is 6, then structure is octahedral. Example is NaCl. Okay. So one more case it is there. The value from 0.732 to 1. So its coordination number is 6. Structure of the compound is cubic. The example for this cubic structure is cesium chloride. Cesium chloride is a body-centered cube. Okay. So in short we can say, so radius ratio, it will give the structure of the compound. So if the radius ratio is 0.1552, 0.225, so coordination number 3, trigonal planar. 0.225 to 0.414, tetrahedral. 0.414 to 0.732, octahedral. 0.732 to 1, so it is cubic. So in solid state, as a whole flow chart we can see now. So first we have studied about solids. So solids are classified into 2. What are they? Crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Crystalline solids and and amorphous solids. So crystalline solids are classified into, so what are the classification of crystalline solids? Ionic solids, ionic crystals, covalent crystals, and molecular crystals, and last is metallic crystals. So molecular crystals are further classified into three. It is non-polar molecular crystals, polar molecular crystals, last one is hydrogen bonded molecular crystals. Okay, so next we have seen the difference between crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Next, crystalline solid, the difference, 5 points we have discussed already. So next we have seen types of cubic systems, isn't it? So types of cube. 3 types of cube is there. It is simple cubic. First one is simple cubic. That is SC. Second one is body-centered cube. Body-centered cube. It is BCC. Next one is face-centered cube, FCC. Third one, face-centered cube, FCC. Okay. So next one, simple cubic, body-centered cube and face-centered cube diagram. So simple cube, it is like this. Atoms are present only at the corners like this. So in body-centered cube, along with the corner atoms, atom is present at the center of the body. Like this. And here, center of the body. So in face-centered cube, along with the corner atoms, atoms are present, faces also. Atoms are present in the faces also. So number of atoms can be calculated by here. Number of atoms is equal to Nc by 8 equal to 1. So here total number of atoms 2. Here total number of atoms is 4. So how we can calculate this number of atoms to? It is Nc by 8 plus Nd by 1. Isn't it? So number of corners in body center 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is 8 divided by 8 plus number of body center 1. So 1 by 1. So you are getting the value 2. So here how we are getting 4? That is formula Nc divided by 8 plus Nf divided by 2. So number of corners 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 divided by 8 plus number of faces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 divided by 2 equal to, you are getting 4. 1 plus 3, you are getting So we have seen types of cube. So afterwards we have seen arrangement of spheres in a cube, isn't it? So that is arrangement of spheres. Spheres. There we have seen linear arrangement in one dimension. Arrangement of spheres in one dimension. Linear arrangement in one dimension. Next we have seen two-dimensional arrangement. Two-dimensional arrangement of spheres, that is of two types. What are the two types? That is A type, and one more type is AB type. Isn't it? So in A type, so each layer are similar, isn't it? So in AB type is first layer, third layer, fifth layer is same, second layer, fourth layer, sixth layer. So alternatively it is different. So AB type. Next we have seen tetrahedral void and octahedral void. So in the case of tetrahedral void, so consider three spheres like this. So and there is a possibility. So this type of tetrahedral void is possible when this AB type two-dimensional arrangement is taken in three dimension. So we can expect this tetrahedral void. So consider this is a one layer, and next layer is arranged such a way that it should be in the depression of these two spheres, so that we are getting a vacant space. This is called as void. So when you place over this one more sphere, it is tetrahedral void. So next is octahedral void is possible in the case of 6 spheres. Okay. So next we have studied packing efficiency, and finally we have studied defect in crystals. Thank you, students.